All right. Well, I will go ahead and we can get started right now. I imagine we'll probably have a couple of people that will be joining us in progress, and that is perfectly fine. So to get us started, I would like Dean Vanke to give a brief welcome and a little bit about the school.
Jen, thank you very much. And I want to thank all our faculty, staff, students, alumnus for joining us today. And a special welcome to the counselors who are joining today to learn a little bit about our Beacom School of Business and our programs, and more importantly, our people here and the culture that we have. A quick note, I will share a video at the end of my brief. I'll make it brief, certainly. So who are we? We are the flagship business school in the state of South Dakota. We are a regional leader. We are nationally ranked business school, and our programs are accredited since 1949. That's 71 years. And accredited by who? Accredited by the gold standards in business school accreditation, which is called AACSB, a 5-letter acronym, Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. That's it. So AACSB accredits about 5% of the business schools all around the world. There are about 13,500 business schools around the world, and about 5%, you can do the math, close to about 700 schools, 680 to 700 schools. And we are one of those schools accredited for the last 71 years. So some of you might wonder, what does this accreditation actually mean? It means several things, but the 3 important ones are, it means a cutting edge curriculum, a curriculum that is very relevant, curriculum that's taught in a very rigorous manner, and curriculum that is that builds student success, a curriculum that's market driven. We build curriculums, we improve our curriculum based on what the market actually needs. The second important aspect of accreditation is who teaches this curriculum to the students. We have highly qualified faculty. At Beacom School of Business, you will not find graduate students teaching courses to our undergraduate students, as an example. We have faculty who are highly qualified, and faculty, and we go through a culture of continuous improvement. So we invest in faculty development. Our faculty are world-class researchers. They do cutting-edge research, and their research is published in international journals. And our faculty present the research at many national or international conferences. And that's a very, very important aspect. So faculty not only create knowledge through the research, they also bring that knowledge into the classroom. So the students learn cutting-edge curriculum from highly qualified and dedicated faculty. The third aspect of accreditation is a culture of continuous improvement that we have, and that's part of our DNA. And how the school is managed. We have very strategic partnerships, very close relationships with several businesses, not only in South Dakota, in the region, and throughout the nation. And our alumni are all across the country, and we have that strong engagement that distinguishes our school from all other schools. Our programs are nationally ranked. I mentioned that. For example, if you look at Princeton Review, a very prestigious ranking institution, they have ranked our MBA program, our online MBA program, in the top 20 for 5 years in a row. Our Master's in Professional Accountancy program is ranked in the top 10 by many, many institutions over several years. Just an example of how our programs have solid reputation. And we bring students from more than 35 states in the country. And the last count we had about a year ago, we had students from about 20 countries in the world. So we are truly a highly ranked, highly reputed institution. But what truly distinguishes our business school from others is a culture of caring that our faculty and staff, they demonstrate every day. If you ask one of our faculty, he's not here with us today, what brought him to the USD Beacom School of Business. He said 15 years ago when he came here, he noticed that faculty know students by names. That's Dr. Mark Yaki, who's not with us. But so our faculty know students by name. They connect with them every day. So that mentoring, that coaching that takes place, that really strengthens the learning experience our students get. Well, you're going to hear from one of our students, Zach, and from one of our students who graduated, Gage, and also from Kelsey, about the culture of caring that we have in the school. We also have a culture of innovation. We have a market-driven innovation culture. So we continuously look for new innovations, new changes that's happening in the industry. For example, this COVID-19, it brought so many changes in our economy, changes in the public health, but at the Beacom School of Business, our faculty have made so many changes in terms of helping businesses throughout the state of South Dakota. They ran a whole series of webinars. We hosted a conference. And so there are a lot of that culture of innovation is part of our DNA. And finally, our faculty and staff have an attitude of whatever it takes. So whatever challenges that are imposed on us, we deal with that, and we are on a strong growth trajectory. We have seen a solid increase in enrollment over the last few years. That's a good sign. That means students and parents have strong confidence in our school's brand, in our school's reputation. And they know that when that son or daughter come to our business school, they get a solid, well-rounded education. So we enjoy that reputation for high quality learning, affordability, alumni engagement, student success. We have top companies in the world come here each year to recruit our students. These companies, they have so many choices. They can go to top Ivy League schools around the country, but yet they continue to come to our business school every year to recruit our accounting students, to economics, marketing, finance, students in all majors. Why? Because they know that our students are truly world-class. And that is something that we are very, very proud of. Now, I'm going to have the mayor of Sioux Falls, Mayor Paulton Haken. He kind of recorded a video for us, so I'm going to run the video. And so I have to make my presentation very, very brief. And I want to thank all the school counselors for joining us today. We truly appreciate you joining us. And we want to learn from you. And we want to build a strategic partnership with you so that we want to share our success stories with your students. And hopefully your students will choose to come to our business school to build their career. So with that, let me run the video here.
Hey guys, Mayor Paulton Haken here in Sioux Falls, and I just got done with the program that we're doing in partnership with the Beacom School of Business down at USD, and it just was a good reminder to me what a great program and partnership we have with the Beacom School of Business. You know, that school, if you're looking for a school where you want to get some real hands-on experience, real world experience, which I can't stress enough is so important that we look for in today's grads, Beacom School of Business will offer that. Accredited B school, great faculty, great education. We've been partnering with them now for a couple of years and will be more in the future. So be sure to check them out. Great school, go Yotes.
So thank you all for joining us today, and over to Jen.
Thank you, Dean Venke. So now I would like to introduce you all to some people at the USD Beacom School of Business. We're going to first hear from some of our faculty, and then some of our students, and you can hear a little bit more about our school from our Director of Student Services, as well as our recruiter. And then we've got one of our wonderful recent alums here, who's also from Sioux Falls, that will say a few words as well. So thank you. Well, we promise we won't take more than an hour, but definitely want to encourage you all to ask questions throughout. Feel free to throw something in the chat, or you're always welcome to, unmute yourself and ask a question yourself. So we look forward to it. Now, to get us started, I would like to introduce some of our faculty, and first we'll start with Tylercustis. Tyler, can you tell us a little bit about, introduce yourself and a little bit about your program?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Tylercustis. I'm an assistant professor here at the Beacom School of Business. I teach in business law. So I'm an attorney and I have an MBA. I also practice law on the side. Yeah, and we teach courses that, basically give students this understanding of the legal parameters of the world that they live in and the businesses they can go into so that you know the rules of the game. And if you know the rules of the game, you can be very successful in the areas that you're in.
Thank you, Tyler. And Karen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your program?
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. My name is Karen Davies. I'm an instructor at the Beacom School of Business, and I'm in the Accounting and Finance Division, and I'm an accounting instructor. So we have 9 instructors in the accounting department. It is one of our larger majors. We offer both an undergraduate and a graduate, an MPA degree. Myself, I am from the industry. I started in public accounting. I am a CPA, and then I was a CFO for 26 years before I came back to enjoy teaching at the University of South Dakota. We truly appreciate you. When we have time, Jen, I would love to spend a few minutes talking about both our Summer Accounting Institute as well as Beta Alpha Psi, which relates to the accounting department.
Absolutely. And Rand Wegen.
Good morning, I'm Rand Wegen. I am an associate professor of marketing. I've been at the university for about 11 years. And I teach the MBA courses in marketing as well as the upper class marketing classes, the capstone classes especially. We have about 10 student groups within this organization, within the Beacom School of Business. I'm faculty advisor for Pi Sigma Epsilon, which is the marketing club, and Beta Alpha Psi is our accounting club, as Karen mentioned. So there's plenty of room for students to engage with faculty and engage with industry through these extracurricular activities.
Excellent. I'd just like to have each of you answer, and this is where you're welcome to touch more on the student organizations, but what is one thing that you think really sets the Beacom School of Business apart for students? Feel free to go in the same order or out of order.
Sure, I can start. USD is a magical place, and the Beacom School of Business is even more amazing. I think I base it on, my own experience. So I went to Texas A&M for my undergraduate degree. Huge school, 500 people in a room, and you don't really get to know the professor at all. And it's some graduate assistant who's maybe grading a paper, and you feel very distant. Where at USD, I think it carries a lot of the weight of a big school, right? People understand this university of place, but you just get to know so many people. I mean, my classes are very small. I know Zach and Kelsey and Gage because they were in my class. And I think that's just a unique situation that USD can give you. This world-class big school experience, but at the same time, it feels small and it feels connected to the people that you're going through this educational process with.
And
Thank you. Karen?
So easy here because myself, I have to do a lot of my work at home because during the day I've got students in my office just talking to me about the class, about their future, about careers, about whatever's going on in their life, and the faculty around me. It's the same situation. They're always with students. We also, as Rand mentioned, we have numerous student organizations which they can get involved with, both campus-wide as well as focusing just on the Beacom School of Business and their major. Beta Alpha Psi is an organization that a student can be involved with who have an interest in the accounting field. And in that organization, we provide networking opportunities, which helps our students become comfortable with speaking with those professionals. We have professionals that come in every week and speak to them about the career, about a topic of the career. It may be a very focused topic in accounting. It may be a soft skill topic, but every week they have the opportunity to interact with these professionals. And these professionals are the ones that are coming back on campus to recruit our students. We have a very nice internship program. which we have over 30 companies, both public accounting and private accounting, that come to campus both in the fall and spring looking for our interns, and they are looking hard. They're at this point, many of them are hiring our students who are between their sophomore and their freshman and their sophomore year for 2 years away, because there's such a demand right now for accountants. Those students that have an internship, it's very common for them to come back from their internship with an offer of a full-time position in their hand. So that makes that senioritis a little bit harder, but we get through it. We also have the master's program, where if you are interested in the public accounting and getting your CPA, we have a master's program for which you can earn your extra hours required to sit for that CPA. And it can be done in a joint venture, so you can get it done a little quicker than just coming back after you've been out for a few years. Summer Accounting Institute, I'll take one more minute and then we'll go to Rand. Summer Accounting Institute is a fantastic opportunity for high school students to figure out if accounting is for them. We do a week of, it's actually I think 4 full days of a camp during the summer, where high school students are invited to join us, live on campus, experience campus life. We do an accounting project. We bring professionals from both public accounting and private accounting in to discuss and talk with the students about careers in accounting. We also do field trips up to Sioux Falls, where we take the students to Sioux Falls, to both public, private, and a lot of times the South Dakota Investment Council, and let them see what a day or an hour at least looks like in those industries. So it gives them an opportunity before they even come to campus to see what campus life is like, as well as to learn about the accounting career.
I want to thank my colleagues for taking all of my thunder, leaving me with almost nothing to say. But being a good academic, I can think of something. So let me follow up with a story. I agree totally with what Tyler and Karen delivered. The story is a young man named Jacob Smith. Kelsey, you remember Jacob? He was just a kid coming out of Yankton. He, just come to school and wasn't sure what he was going to do in school, and he found his passion here. And he's one of those kids that got engaged. He joined a couple of clubs, and he joined the club that I'm the faculty advisor. He got into the competitions, he went to the career fairs, and he got noticed. And a little company that you might have heard of called UPS, I think they deliver packages. They came to him and recruited him and took him away from South Dakota. He's now in South Carolina, and he has his own book of business, and he's making money. He's having a ball. He wants to come home to South Dakota, and he's building his career so that he can be in a good position to do that. So we can prepare. The story is we can help prepare these students for outstanding careers. And I don't know if there's anything more fulfilling than that.
That's perfect. Thank you all very much. Do any of the counselors have a question that you would like to ask of our faculty? Okay, before we turn it over to the next group, Tyler, I would love it if you could talk a little bit about some of the, other than the student organization, some of the travel opportunities for students. Can you talk a little bit about the Global Immersion program?
Sure, yeah, there are several travel experiences that different groups do, go to visit businesses, as Karen was talking about. But one thing that I'm a part of is the Global Immersion program. So last year, right, we went to Hong Kong and China, and we visited several businesses in the area and kind of studied kind of how Asia and the US are developing business ties. We had a little hiccup there with COVID, and we didn't get to take a trip this last summer. But yeah, I think it's something that we plan to do for future years, whether it be in Europe or Asia. What we experience as students, it just opens their minds at a whole nother level. If you push someone out of your comfort zone, put them in a new culture, and then expose them to other business ideas, it's something that can be really life-changing, and something that I'm committed to, and I think Beacom School of Business is committed to as well in the future.
Excellent. Thank you, Tyler. That's wonderful. And just one thing I wanted to reinforce that both Karen and Rand talked about, and Karen, feel free to elaborate on this more, but in case anyone missed it, she was saying that several of our high achieving accounting students are walking out of their freshman year, summer after freshman year internship with a job offer. That means that the questions that they get at Thanksgiving from the family of what do you have to do, you know, they have an answer after their first year or maybe 2 years of school. So that has always baffled me. And I would have loved to have had that kind of security when I was in college. But Karen, will you touch a little bit about where some of our students are going?
So we always start with the most exciting, the ones that just go far away, but we hope in a few years they come back to South Dakota. We have a student who just graduated with the MPA program, actually undergraduate program in accounting and finance, who did, I believe, 3 or 4 internships, and she is now in New York City. We have several students that are in Minneapolis. We have several students in Omaha. We have a number of students in Sioux Falls. We have some very good accounting firms and private industries in Sioux Falls that hire our accounting students. We have several students in Rapid City. And these are high quality students. When they leave us, they just amaze me. When I came back to teaching 3 years ago, my worry was that I was going to have to teach more than I was ready to as a new teacher and someone coming from the professional world. I kind of had a standard that I thought, well, you should already know this. Our students are amazing. When they come out of here, they can communicate, they can critical think, they're just, I'm so thrilled with them. And the opportunities because of who they are, what they've learned, the experiences that they have participated in, all have built them into that person that are highly required and highly needed by our industry.
Thank you, Karen. All right, now we'd love to introduce you to a couple of our current students so they can tell you a little bit about their experience. So why don't we get started with Zach. Zach, can you please introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and tell us a little bit about your experience at Beacom.
Yeah, so like Jen mentioned, my name is Zach Model. I graduated from Washington High School in Sioux Falls in 2018. Kind of knew that I wanted to go into business and looking for schools, you know, I thought that USD was awesome because it's close to home, but it's far enough where I'm not like, my parents aren't breathing down my neck. Because I'm an accounting and a finance major here, set to graduate in December of next year, as well as the current president of one of our student organizations on campus, Capital Management, which is our investment organization that this year hit $2.5 million in assets under management.
That's excellent. Thank you, Zach. And Kelsey, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Frost, and I am from Brandon, South Dakota, which is why I know Mrs. Stemweddle. It's great to see you this morning. And I am a double major in marketing and operational analytics. I'll tell you briefly why I chose USD. I'm pretty sure Dean Venke loves this story, so I'd feel guilty if I didn't throw it in. Basically, I had told him during an interview for the Dean's Ambassadors that both of my parents were very committed and involved SDSU alums. And it was actually my dad that told me to check out USD when he found out I was interested in business. And so that was kind of a shock coming from a very SDSU Go Jacks household, but I did, and I'm so glad I did. I ended up choosing USD not only because of that push, but just because of all the lovely people here. My favorite thing, not to be cliche, is definitely everything our professors have touched upon and just the familiarity and the relationships you're able to grow with your professors. I've talked to many of my friends that are in larger majors, a lot of pre-med, and they hardly get to talk to their professors, where I have multiple classes where I get to sit in the first row and have one-on-one conversations every time I enter class. And to me, that's just a priceless experience.
That's excellent. Thank you both. And both of you being from kind of the Sioux Falls area, talk a little bit about, Zach touched on a little bit, but the distance and kind of, you know, how you feel, or maybe if you were talking to someone from Sioux Falls or Brandon, you know, what would you tell them that might be concerns that USD is too close, too far, or not big enough?
Yeah, I think that USD, for me, and I think that for a lot of people, it's the perfect distance from Sioux Falls, because it's an hour away. So my parents aren't just like showing up on my doorstep unannounced, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, I'm a mama's boy. I get to go home on the weekends and hang out with my family. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with Zach on that. Graduating from high school, I wanted to go anywhere but South Dakota. I was looking much farther away. And when I toured the campus, I made some different decisions. But ultimately, I was satisfied after coming here for a few months. Like Zach said, it doesn't feel like you're super close to home. Vermilion and being on a college campus is a whole different experience. And I learned that even if I'm an hour away, I can still have a whole new perspective in Vermilion and at USD. And I'm a very forgetful person sometimes. So being able to run home if I forgot some things has always been very nice.
Excellent. Do any of the counselors have any particular questions for any of the students? All right, I'm going to keep throwing a few things at you. Zach, you touched a little bit on, yes.
It looks like Kara. Kara, did you have a question?
I was just going to ask them if they had any advice that we could help give to our undergrad or high school students on classes they should take to prepare them if this is a path they want to
go. Classes in high school, for me, I really liked the dual credit program and the AP classes that were offered. There was also, the personal finance courses, and they had an econ class at Washington that I really enjoyed, and I thought that it was a really, really good stepping stone that helped me prepare to enter, into the business school just that much farther ahead.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. And Carly Hurd, our Director of Student Services, will touch on the dual credit program a little bit more in a few minutes. Anything you'd like to add, Kelsey?
I honestly did not take many business-related courses in high school. However, I'm sure Carly will touch on this. As you said, the dual credit opportunities have helped made me so successful. I'm looking at potentially studying abroad, and that's a whole long story next semester. And that wouldn't have been possible so late in the game if it wasn't for the dual credit opportunities I was given as a high school student. I have had the opportunity to double major and again, have more flexibility with my 4-year plan than I would have otherwise.
So one more question to follow up with that is, what's the right number of dual credit? How many credits did you take? Was it too much? Not enough? I mean, what would you recommend there?
I think it definitely depends on the student. I would describe myself in high school as maybe a little overly ambitious. I pushed myself, but I got through and I enjoyed all my classes. So I think it's definitely up to where the student would like to push themselves. I ended up taking half a semester's worth, so about 15 credits in total in high school, which I didn't think was an overabundance. And I got a lot out of my dual credit courses while still feeling like I was in high school and could relax.
And kind of bouncing off of Kelsey, I also came in to USC with a semester worth of credits, both AP and dual credits. 2 of those were from dual credit classes, and honestly, I wish that I would have done more. I think that they really benefited me, and they're allowing me to get a double major in 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And I see a question in the chat. Did I think about doing the Academy of Finance while I was in high school, and why or why not? I did think about it. I actually wanted to do it, but I never got the chance. That's just because I worked a lot in the summer. I was busy. I had things going on, but I do think that it is a great program. And if I had the opportunity again, I definitely would have done it.
Excellent. And one thing, I think most of your schools are involved with junior achievement. They do the Invest for Your Future program every year. I think it's with maybe sophomores and juniors. And we've really, Coyote Capital Management, which is the group that Zach is the current president of, they have been amazing and really involved, and we've been working to get some of our students into the classrooms to help out with that program. And then they are the traders for the stock market challenge that happens in the spring. It's a really cool event. And Zach, if you want to touch any more on it, I know it got canceled last year, but it is a good opportunity for them to get a sneak peek.
Yeah, for sure. The junior achievement stuff is all awesome. It's a really good way for, students to, get a little bit of a sense of what investing is like, as well as when we go and, CCM members are able to help facilitate it. Anyone that, has been thinking about going to USD, I always thought that getting to meet, or when I was in high school, getting to meet students that are already there, already doing what I'm trying to shoot for, was awesome.
Excellent. If there are any more questions for the students, let us know. Otherwise, we will move along. And now I'd like to introduce Carly Hurd, who is our Director of Student Services. And she's going to just touch a little bit about the Beacom experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. As Jen said, my name is Carly Hurd. First of all, Kelsey and Michelle, go BVHS all the way. I am a Brandon Valley grad as well. We're holding down the fort here. So I went to undergrad at USD and did my graduate degree here too. And I've had a variety of jobs in student services on campus, and I've actually been in the business school for about 7.5 years now. So kind of a few things to know about the business school, especially for our high school counselors, because you guys understand the importance of, fostering a good experience for students and making sure they're successful. We have a variety of things that we do in student services here that are specific to the business school that are very different than some of the other offices on campus and departments on campus. We do professional advising here in the business school. And what that means is when a student starts here as a student, the day they get here in the summer at Fast Track to register for classes, they get assigned an advisor, and they stick with that advisor all the way through until they graduate. So we can kind of serve as a resource for them all the way through, not just for academic things, but like life things. Like, I'm having a hard time, who can I talk to at the counseling office? Or I'm having a problem with my roommate, who do I talk to for that? All of those kinds of things. And we kind of tell parents, like, feel free to, refer your student to us when they get here if they need things that, they need a resource on campus, not their parent, but somebody else that is, not a peer that can help them with things like that. So we meet with students every semester. We have mandatory academic advising. So all students have to meet with us before they can register for classes every semester. So we do that because we want them obviously to stay on track, matriculate to a 4-year graduation, hopefully go on to graduate school if they're interested in that. And we have really great relationships with students. Sometimes it's hard for me to believe that, like, I have students graduating. I'm like, wait, you just got here. How are you leaving already? And I'm sure you guys feel the same way as high school counselors. It's crazy. So that's one thing that we do. We also have a lot of kind of signature student services in the business school. We have peer advising. So all of our freshmen get assigned to a peer advising group when they get here for registration. And they meet with that group who is an upperclassman and a group of students in their cohort, in the freshman cohort, every other week. And they kind of help them acclimate to college, acclimate to the business school and USD from high school. So, everything from what do I do to change my meal plan to how do I register for classes? When should I register for classes? What is Dakota Days? Everything that maybe a student wouldn't know when they got here, they have an upperclassman to ask those questions to, along with they get to actually meet some other students that are in their cohort, essentially, that they might not see any other time unless they're in like survey of business with them or something like that. So we have that. We have some great tutoring in the business school that's just for business students too, that focuses on accounting and econ and stats and finance and those sorts of courses. So we try to do a lot to make sure our students feel like they are, being taken care of while they're here. They already kind of talked about some of the student organizations that we have our own student orgs as well. You know, Karen does an amazing job with the organization she is in charge of. We are really lucky because our student organizations all have an advisor that's a faculty member in the business school. So you can really see that our faculty care a lot about our students being successful and what they're doing along the way too. So that's a little bit about what we do in student services. I know we touched on dual credit a little bit, and one thing that Nancy always likes me to talk about when we talk with students is, you know, what classes should I take in high school? And I know you guys started talking about that. I would say to any high school counselor that if you ever have questions about, hey, the student's thinking they want to do this business program, what classes should they take? We are more than happy to talk to you before they ever get here, or talk to them about what classes they should take. My recommendation, always number one on the list, is math. If they can get math done before they get to college, it's huge. It's the number one class we see students struggle with when they get to college is college algebra and survey of calculus. So if a student at the very least can get through college algebra dual credit, fantastic. If you can get them to take AP Calc and get a 3, 4, or 5 on that, man, they're set, because they can get here and not have any math they have to have left to take. And it's just a big learning curve on the workload, and I'm sure the students can agree with this, workload of high school math to workload of college math. It is kind of traumatizing for some of them, so it's good for them to get that done if they can. Obviously, English is great, speech is great. Something for you to know, our business school students are only required to do one social science. So when they come in with like Soc and Psych, it's more than they need, and they'll just drop down as electives. They really only need one social science because they do take micro and macro as business majors, so they don't need more than just one. You know, film appreciation, music appreciation, all those are great. But my number one thing for sure I would say math. Sciences are good to get done too, because not a lot of our business majors are super excited about science when they get here, because they're like, I'm a business major, why do I need to take biology or chemistry? So that's another good one to get done. So that's a little bit about student services, dual credit. Jen, let me know when you want me to talk about career services, but that's a scoop on that if anybody has questions.
Excellent, that's great. I'm gonna, I might be putting someone on the spot, but I'd love for Davies, if you wouldn't mind touching a little bit on kind of some of the fast track options for our joint programs with undergraduate and graduates, and even with our JD program. So Associate Dean Davies Dykstra is also on the call with us.
Thank you. I am the Associate Dean of the Beacom School of Business, and I am also a professor of business law here. So I teach in the area of business ethics and real estate are the two primary undergraduate classes I teach. And then I also teach in the graduate program. And as Carly said, we have some joint programs. And these are programs where our students can do what we call a fast track. Somebody alluded to that a little. Oh, I think it was Karen alluded to being able to fast track through your undergraduate accounting degree into the MPA program. And so what that means is you actually take some credits in an overlap semester. So if you bring in some dual credits, it makes it even easier, but you can overlap, let's say, your last semester and take undergraduate and graduate credits at the same time. So it reduces the amount of time that you typically have to spend on campus here. And you can get your degree usually in a shorter period of time. Our MPA and our MBA, our Masters of Professional Accountancy and our Masters of Business Administration are a full calendar year program if you take them on campus. So that would be summer, fall, and spring. But if you start as an undergraduate and take it as an undergraduate, you can usually graduate earlier in a much quicker time frame. We also have joint program with the law school. And this is near and dear to my heart and probably to Tylercustis' heart because we are both lawyers. But the cool thing there is the ability to take 3 years of your undergraduate program. You fill it up with all of your business courses. And so you complete your business major within 3 years, all of your general educations within those 3 years. Then your 4th year is your first year of law school. And those students then, and that first year of law school counts as undergraduate credit. So you actually cut down your 4-year undergraduate plus 3-year law school into a total of 6 years. So you cut everything off by 1 year. So that's a real cost savings you don't have that extra room and board and those types of things. It gets you out into the labor force quicker, so you don't have that opportunity cost of that extra year in class. And so that's really turning into a pretty popular program. And I can tell you, business is if anybody does want to go into law, business is a phenomenal undergraduate degree as a lead-in to law school, because they either will be operating their own law business, but they may be dealing with family law and they have to know about budgets and finance and those kinds of things. Or they may be doing transactional law. So there'll be a lot of things where the business background will set the students apart when they apply to law school, because a lot of students will go political science, but that means you're one of many. And so if you have a business background, it's very, very useful. So that's turning into a pretty popular program, and we're seeing more students do that. And so those are the 3 primary fast track programs that we have. So thank you, Carly, for that opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Davies. And Carly, now can you touch on the career services opportunities that we have at Beacom, and then we'll have some questions from the counselors.
Perfect. And one program too that Davies didn't touch on, we also have a 3+3 with the law school. So 3 years of undergrad with 3 years of law school. If your students come in with a ton, did you talk about it, Davies, and I missed it? If they come in with a ton of dual credit though, I mean, I had a student last year that came in with 60 credit hours of dual credit. So he was already a junior when he got here. So, I mean, it's crazy what some of these students can do when they get here. So we work with them though. So career services. So Mandy Hansen, she is not here today, but she is the manager of our Career Success Center. We are unique and very lucky because the entire campus has a career services person. So 10,000 students. And then the business school has their own career success person. So Mandy Hansen is our manager of career success. And her job is to help our students find jobs, prepare for finding jobs, finding internships and that kind of thing. So we're very lucky that we have her. She helps our students with, resumes, cover letters, interview skills, accounting majors we bring in a normal year. In a non-COVID year, we have like 24, 25 firms that interview our students that come to campus. We have a great setup in the business school where we have interview rooms, so students don't even have to leave town to do interviews. They can even use the interview rooms for Skyping, for interviews that are far away, that kind of thing. Last year, I believe our placement rate was 98%. So a 6-month placement rate was 98%, which means 98% of our students had a job within their field. And within their field is, I think, an important part of that distinction. It's not, working down the street at McDonald's or something. It's a job in their field that their degree was in, which says a lot about the kind of caliber and the education our students are getting when they leave here, that they're able to get those sorts of jobs. I believe the average salary was around $43,000 as well. So doing really well coming out as a freshly minted degreed student. So Mandy works with students all the way through. She does something called the Biz Bulletin as well that goes out every week. That is an email that goes out to all our students that basically lists opportunities for part-time jobs, full-time jobs, internships, and that kind of thing. And it's broken down by major and everything. So it's a really great way for our students don't have to go look. She does all the looking and puts it in one spot for our students so they kind of know what opportunities are out there. And she does appointments, so students can meet with her anytime to work on any of the skills they need or their resume or cover letter. So she is a great resource for us here in the business school as well.
Excellent.
So
go ahead.
Carly indicated that due to COVID, we had some issues this year. Actually, we didn't really have issues because with the skills that both the faculty and the students have acquired on Zooming, we did this entire process. It just was, most of it was through Zoom meetings, through virtual interviews, and it went great.
And I think they said, Karen, that they were even more impressed with our students because of the way they handled themselves in this situation and having to do it remotely and electronically instead of in person, which says a lot about, our students, which is great.
Do any of the counselors have questions on the student services side of things? All right, now I'm really excited to introduce one of our recent alums, Gage Hoberg, who was one of the first students I met when I started here at Beacom a couple of years ago. Gage was able to block off an hour of his his full-time job to be with us this morning. So thank you for that, Gage. Gage, I'd love it if you could introduce yourself, tell us where you're from originally, about your experience at Beacom, and what you're doing now.
Oh, well, thank you for the lovely introduction, Jen. Hi, my name is Gage Hilberg. I'm a recent grad from the B School just this past year. I'm originally from Sioux Falls, and I went to O'Gorman High School, so similar to Zach and Kelsey, from the Sioux Falls area, and just made the 50-mile trip down to Vermilion for 4 years. And probably one of the best decisions I ever had was to end up going to both USD and the B School. I guess I'd like to echo basically what every professor, Carly, and what everyone has already said about kind of the experience you get in Beacom. I think it's really important, like coming into college, and especially from a place like South Dakota, that you can have those intimate sizes of classes and have relationships with professors. And it really shows in both how we perform job placement and such, that you can continue to reach out with your professors, go to office hours, and have that one-on-one relationship to continue learning outside the classroom, even when class is done. So I think that's a wonderful thing that USD is able to do. On top of that, there was also touched upon about student organizations. One of the other great things is the ability to be just very involved in, it doesn't matter what major you are, whether you're an accounting major, finance, there is a club or organization that you're going to have the opportunity to join, be a part of leadership, and just gain more skills that you probably wouldn't have if you went to a bigger university and just went to class and did your homework and turned it in. So that's just a really great opportunity that USD continues to add organizations or new things like the mentoring program that Carly touched upon, and even new majors like operational analytics, where clubs are going to come up, or new things are able for students to join. Sorry, that was kind of a bit, but just wanted to echo that. Right now, I myself, I left with a degree in finance and operational analytics this past year, and I work for the private bank of Wells Fargo doing private wealth planning. And this kind of lined up with a lot of what I learned in school. A lot of it's problem solving based, and whether that be reading like JD documents, estate planning and such, and then also being able to problem solve when it comes like learning things about cash flows and such. So all of this kind of fed in to like an amalgamation of what I went to school for. So that was really great that I had the opportunity to double major, kind of like Zach and what Kelsey are doing, being able to pair in those knowledge bases, and that kind of led to where I am. Just one last thing before I go off on another tangent, but I wanted to note kind of how well the Beacom School of Business has grown in just the 4 years that I was in school. One of the things that's talked about, and I'll steal this from Dean Venke, is talking about return on investment, or ROI. And that's like one of the best things that I saw was the amount of investment that the B School puts into itself so students can gain from it. I think in my 4 years at USD, every single year a new program, whether that be the major like operational analytics that I joined in 2017, whether that was adding the Bloomberg lab in 2019, or maybe fall 20 or spring 2018, either or adding new specializations in our master's programs, like specialization in analytics in our accounting and finance master's program. So I think showing that the B School is not only growing, but adding programs and wrinkles that give back to the students is just kind of a great showing of what the B School is doing now.
That's excellent, Gage, and I can't believe that nobody has touched on the lab yet. But yeah, it was about a year and a half ago that we opened the Ellis Finance and Analytics Lab, which has 12 Bloomberg terminals, top of the line software and products that are being used in the real world everywhere from on Wall Street all the way pretty much any big business that you might go to. So our students are being trained on that, and not just in finance and investment courses, but in marketing and analytics and across the board. So when we are able to get you all here in person, we definitely want to be able to give you a tour of the lab. So just wanted to touch on that. But there is a question, Gage, Matt asked, can you please speak to opportunities that exist with a 4-year business degree versus obtaining a 2-year degree?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, like personally, from what I've learned, I would say like the opportunities that come up with a 4-year business degree, one of them just comes in breadth of knowledge. There is only so much time and basically what you could learn in coursework in a 2-year business degree. And that's not knocking a 2-year business degree either. You can still find great jobs and opportunities going that route. But going with the 4-year degree, there's a certain amount of well-roundedness and things that you can pick up on. And not only that, just time in being able to speak with other people that maybe have similar interests, focus groups, things like that, and organizations you can grow. So with the 4-year, I just think it comes back to having that larger skill set and also being able to pair that with what you're learning versus a 2-year, but also having a 2-year degree, nothing to knock on that either. That's a great opportunity as well. Also, in employment-wise, too, with a 4-year degree, you are going to find that the job field is absolutely getting more competitive. Even now, having a master's sometimes seems like it's a prereq for basically any job right out of college. So, you know, if that's the right thing or not, I don't know. But you're going to find that you're basically going to need a 4-year degree if you want to go into a job role that you can basically move up the ladder, have an opportunity to continue growing, because with a 2-year, you could end up in a role where it's very difficult to move forward without further along obtaining a 4-year. So that's certainly something to think about. But again, a 2-year is better than nothing, and it's nothing to knock either.
And to go along with what Gage just said, we have a lot of students right now that come back that originally got an associate's degree but now are needing to have a bachelor's degree or even an MBA. So they're having to come back and try to finish up getting a full 4-year degree. We have a lot of students that do that right now. And I just think it's the industry that so many more students have a bachelor's degree now. And almost like Gage said, an MBA is almost required for a lot of things. So they're trying to catch up and finish that bachelor's so they can move on and get an MBA at some point as well.
Excellent. One last thing for Gage is how did your networking opportunities and your internships at Beacom help with your job now?
Yeah, so I guess in regards to networking, one thing, so like coming from both a finance major, and Zach can attest to this as well because he was also in CSAM with me for 3 years and is now the president, but I got a lot of help from USD alum. I don't know plenty of our professors and faculty know, but Conrad Adams is one of the reasons I ended up in the job that I am. He's a very high achieving previous alumni from USD, and we had happened to be in the same finance club, and he let me know about an opportunity within Wells Fargo to do an internship over the summer, which I did my junior year, and then that opportunity kind of grew into the job that I am now. But basically, like joining clubs and being around students that are also trying to get more out of what they are going for schools, a great thing within the B school. And also alumni connections are absolutely huge here at USD. So even for networking with some of the things like businesses coming back to USD, like Bruce Beegler, who's at Goldman Sachs. There's now Goldman Sachs recruiters coming every year to the B school. And just quite frankly, this wouldn't be your typical target school. Generally speaking, it's your East Coast or West Coast, whether they're Stanford or Ivies. So there's just a lot of networking opportunities that come because people want, if you come from South Dakota and USD, you want more USD and South Dakotans coming from the U. So there's a lot of networking with prior students. And then even within the school, I know that we have our networking mixers and such that give a great opportunity for businesses to come here and then for you to network with businesses both within like the South Dakota footprint, whether it's or Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa. So ample opportunities all around.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today, Gage. We really appreciate it. And I know Matt has asked a couple of questions about innovation entrepreneurship. Carly mentioned we do have an innovation entrepreneurship major that's offered here at the Beacom School of Business. And Matt, we also have some certificate programs that are offered at the Community College of Sioux Falls that are more tied in with the kind of technical leadership types of degrees. So I'm inferring things from a couple of your questions, but we'll make sure to follow up with you after and get you some details on both of those things. So we're about to wrap up here. I'd like to introduce Nancy Tapkin, who is our undergraduate recruiter. Nancy, if the counselors have some students that would like to find out more about USD, you know, what would you like them to know?
I would like you to know that we are still having visits. So whatever your students and families are comfortable with, I am still meeting with families and students in person, but more than happy at any time to do a virtual visit as well. We did those all through the initial months of COVID. So happy to do it in whatever way makes the family feel comfortable. When they do come to campus, they'll have a tour, of course. They'll spend about a half hour with me if they've indicated business is their major, and they'll spend about a half hour with admission. So it's a pretty thorough visit. And we really try to get all their questions answered and kind of do a deep dive into the business school. We're preparing the same as all of you, I'm sure, for free college application week next week. Yay! They can have that free feature via the Common App, but I'm going to put a little link into the chat as well. USD has created a link that is specific to USD as well. So Common App or this link here that I just put in the chat, both of those will allow your students to apply for free next week. I'm going to backtrack super fast to that question about the Academy of Finance that Matt asked. Just so you know, Matt, someone from the Beacom School is typically on the advisory board of the AOF program up in Sioux Falls. Right now, that person's me. We partner with Penny Brunken every year, again, in a non-COVID environment. They're always coming down here every spring. We put the Academy of Finance students through a whole, 4 or 5 hours of meeting with faculty, getting in front of people like Carly and Dean Venke. So we have a lot of partnerships. We have many classes come to the Beacom School of Business all the time. So if you ever have a group of students or your business teachers have a group of students that they want to bring down, I would love to set up a whole day for them. My other comment is the accreditation that we have, just to put it in a frame of reference as we sign off, some of the other colleges that have that are Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, Wharton. That is the club that we are in. So you have a university in that high level, high caliber club an hour away from you. And I'm no G grad. So again, don't think that you have to go far away to get that high caliber experience. You're getting it right here.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you all. I know that we're up on the time here, so I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you taking an hour to be with us. We truly can't wait to have you on campus so that you can get a tour of the school, meet some more of our students and our faculty and the dean face-to-face. We really want to be able to do that, but we know right now that your lives are completely crazy. So maybe in the spring things will settle down, or we'll find some time that we can have you all down, have lunch, and give you a tour. And then I just wanted to share one final little thing that we had from a couple of our students. We would love to introduce you to all of our students. So.
Hi, my name is Connor, and I am a sophomore here at USD, majoring in Health Service Administration at the Beacom School of Business. I would like to personally thank all the high school counselors that are working tirelessly to ensure their students' success in difficult times that we are currently experiencing.
Thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you for all your guidance and your endless support.
Thank you for everything you do for your students.
So thank you all so much. We really appreciate you being with us today, taking an hour out of your day, and we really look forward to continuing to build this partnership. Reach out. You have Nancy's contact information. Reach out with any questions, and we can't wait to talk to your students. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.